No less than 10 police counters closed today. They were safe spaces where people could go and speak to officers face to face to report crime and get help. Well, the Metropolitan Police closed them to reduce costs and they say modernise services. But the closures have faced resistance, as Chris Slegg reports.
The police front counter in Pinner, one of 10 across London, which closes for good from today. Another is in Wimbledon, where yesterday Lib Dem MP Paul Kohler and concerned residents opposed its shutdown.
We're just handing in a petition.
There's unhappiness too about the removal of the front counter in Twickenham.
In my constituency here in Richmond Park, we went from 3 police stations about 15 years ago to none now. And we're already seeing the impact here in terms of not having that dedicated police presence in our streets. So to not have Twickenham, to not be able to go to Kingston as well, is really, we're just seeing this gradual cutback of police presence on our streets.
The closures break a promise made by the mayor ahead of the last election that he would maintain a 24/7 police front counter in every borough. The Met made the same pledge in its strategy for 2023 to 25.
The Met says very few people popping off the streets to report a crime. It claims only 5% of crimes are reported that way. It says it's had to make tough decisions as part of a £260 million funding shortfall and that this move will save it £7 million. But critics say many Londoners, particularly those who are vulnerable or victims of domestic violence, need somewhere to be able to speak to police face to face.
On Thursday, the London Assembly unanimously voted to call on the mayor to urgently intervene. In response, the mayor says the closures are an operational matter for the police and that he'll continue to work closely with the Met to boost visible neighbourhood policing. Chris Slegg, BBC London.
Over the past year, modern-day slavery has risen in London by 10%. Home Office figures show numbers for people illegally exploited and forced to work for little or no money is almost 3,000. The data also shows British people make up more than a fifth of the victims. Hundreds of people took part in a march this afternoon calling for tighter controls when it comes to artificial intelligence. It's believed to have been the first AI-related protest of its kind in the country, with the march going past tech giants in London like Meta, Google DeepMind and OpenAI. A new grassroots campaign group was among those taking part.
We're asking for the government to do more to make sure that there is regulation and safety around it, and we're also demanding that we have more involvement and that we have a much greater say.
An appeal remains in place for people not to touch or pick up any dead or visibly sick birds that they find, particularly in the Docklands area of London. Dozens of swans have died there this week. The public are also asked to wash their hands thoroughly with soap and water if they touch bird feces or feathers or after feeding wild birds. A new rainbow-coloured plaque has been unveiled in the borough of Lambeth to commemorate the location of the 1985 groundbreaking film My Beautiful Laundrette. The original plaque was damaged by rain. The film centres around a gay relationship between a Pakistani Londoner and his white childhood friend.